This time in this video we're looking at the breathing system, ventilation and gas exchange in the lungs. So first of all, let's look at adaptations for exchanging materials, because the effectiveness of exchanging materials can be increased by a number of things. So for example, you can have a large surface area, can also be thin because that provides a faster diffusion path. Having an efficient blood supply in animals means that the concentration gradient for diffusion is maintained. Being ventilated in animals also makes gases exchange more efficient as a steep concentration gradient is maintained. And many of the organs in the body are specialised for material exchanges, including the lungs. And this is what we're looking at now, the exchanges of gases in the lungs. Because your lungs are specially adapted to make gas exchange more efficient. So the function of the lungs is to transfer oxygen to the blood and remove waste carbon dioxide. And in order to do this, the lungs contain millions of little air sacs called alveoli, where gas exchange takes place. Now they have an enormous surface area of around 75 meters squared in humans. Now they also have a moist lining, which is perfect for dissolving gases. They have very thin walls as well to allow more diffusion, and there is a rich blood supply which maintains the steep concentration gradient to allow diffusion to be as quick as possible. Now the air which goes into lungs is relatively low in carbon dioxide and high in oxygen, yet the air out of the lungs is relatively high in carbon dioxide, whereas it's fairly low in oxygen because it's exchanged this oxygen. Now this is because the oxygen moves into the blood, whilst the carbon dioxide in the blood moves into the lungs. So next thing we need to look at is the breathing system. As the lungs are found in the thorax, and they are protected by the rib cage, and they are separated from the digestive organs beneath the diaphragm, which is a strong sheet of muscle. Now the air that you breathe in goes into trachea, and it splits into two tubes called the bronchi, which each go to one of the lungs. Now there are two lungs in the body. The bronchi then progressively split into smaller tubes called bronchioles, and finally they end up at the alveoli, where the gas exchange takes place. Now the job of a breathing system is to move air in and out of the lungs. So ventilation of the lungs is brought about by movements in the ribcage and the diaphragm. So when you breathe in, oxygen-rich air moves into the lungs, and the oxygen continually diffuses into your bloodstream through the alveoli, as we've just looked at before. So by breathing in, your intercostal muscles and diaphragm contract, which means they flatten out, and these movements increase the thorax volume. Now the pressure inside the thorax is lower than the pressure of air outside your body. This means that air moves into the lungs. When you breathe out, the intercostal muscles and diaphragm relax, and the thorax volume decreases. So this increases the pressure inside the chest so that the air is forced out. So thank you for watching that. That is the breathing system, ventilation and gas exchange from the lungs, which is all very important when looking at how we breathe and exchange materials inside, such as oxygen. So thank you and see you soon. Bye.